Welcome to round 4 of the 2022 Porsche 944 Challenge Series Australia. With thanks to our supporting partners, 888 Home Loans, Poolmaster Bayside, AVI Technology, Seat Time Race Solutions, Advanced Fitness, Smith's TMP, Raceline, Yokohama, Pit Lane Clothing, Porsche Australia. Round 4 sees the championship move to what's known as the home of horsepower, Sandown International Raceway. Located around 25 kilometres southeast of Melbourne and steeped in history, Sandown was first built as a horse racing facility dating back to the 19th century. Initially closed in the 1930s, redevelopment began not long after World War II, and a motor racing circuit was built around the outside of the horse track, which opened in 1962. That meeting in 1962 saw world champion drivers like Jim Clark, Sir Jack Brabham and Sir Stirling Moss drive the circuit. In fact, Sandown has held the Australian Grand Prix on 6 occasions, the last being in 1978, 7 years before the event became part of the FIA Formula One World Championship in 1985. Several upgrades to the circuit have been done over the years, and after a spate of major accidents at the end of the back straight between 2010 and 2017, the runoff area there was extended in early 2019. The track itself is 3.1 kilometres long and runs in an anti-clockwise direction. Overall, it has 12 corners. The ones to look out for are Turn 1, known for its high curbs. Turn 4, a tight left-hander, where drivers will be looking to get great drive out of the corner and onto the long back straight. Turn 6, the fastest corner on the circuit. And Turn 12, which leads onto the long front straight. Qualifying took place on Saturday morning with a 22-car field, and it was the 4-time champion and current lap record holder, Cameron Bella, who took pole from arch rival Jamie Westaway. Adam Brewer starts from 3rd, and proving former champions never lose any skill, Chris Lewis-Williams returns after 4 years away to start alongside him. The number 74 of Mark Torbitz comes next, out of position 5, with Richard Howe in P6. Tony Andrzejewski starts from row 4, with Mark Verdino out of position 8. The West Australian driver, Tim Wolfe, starts from P9, with Tony Westaway next to him, starting 10th. Another Westaway, Michael, starts right behind in P11, with Vlad Kennedy in the Scarlet number 23 alongside him. Englishman Keith Mariner starts from 13th, and it's the Poolmaster, Andrew Jackman, in the number 20 from P14. Manny Mezzaselma returns to the series and starts P15, with Carter Fox in the Porsche Centre Brighton entry alongside him. Newcomer Joey Cullick debuts in the category and starts from 17, whilst veteran Jimmy Mitchell starts from 18. English expat Andy Jones begins his race from P19, with Josh Brisbane in the green machine next in P20. Pete Doherty starts from row 11 in position 21, and another West Australian, Andy Tudor, rounds out the 22-car field. Weather always plays a part at Sandown, and this time it was no different, with heavy storm clouds threatening above and very cool track conditions underneath.
Yeah, but the 944s start to head out on track.
But I'll tell you what I am looking forward to is this race, absolutely. I can't wait to see these guys go at it.
As the field headed out for race 1 on Saturday afternoon.
Great field, plus 20 cars here in the 944s. Porsche 944s race well. Westaway gets away nicely in the Ozfield Oils racing car, as does Dickie Howe.
It was Westaway and Bella who got away first, but it didn't take long for the notorious Turn 1 to see its first incident.
The whole field charges down into Turn 1.
With cold tyres and brakes early in the race. Kennedy, Wolfe and Michael Westaway all involved. and unfortunately the latter two being trapped in the sand and unable to continue.
And we have got safety car out on track, so obviously what has occurred at turn 1 is restricting the racing from going. So
The classic case there of cold tyres. You really want to warm these tyres up on the warm-up lap, and if you go into turn 1 with cold tyres, you're probably susceptible to sliding.
Kennedy made it out as marshals removed the stricken cars.
the first lap of the race, so that's a real shame. Tim Wolf.
As the field got set to go racing again after 4 laps behind the safety car. No real change to the order up top, with Westaway, Bella, Brewer and Lewis Williams out in front.
It's going to be interesting. Last lap board is going to be displayed with
One
this.
lap
So
crash.
have a look at this. Have a look at Jamie. He is banking him up. That's it.
Here we go.
But mid-pack, Torbitts had gone from 5th down to 15th after a kill switch flicked on coming out of turn 4, dropping him behind Jimmy Mitchell and Jones. Again, cool temperatures would come into play as the restart began. The field charged down into turn 1, and as the mid-pack bunched up under brakes, suddenly the number 46 Martini liveried car of Jimmy Mitchell got tagged by English expat Andy Jones.
Spin.
West
Two
away.
wheels up in the back of shot there. And a roll over.
No! Oh my goodness.
That is not good. That's the 33.
In one of the most dramatic crashes the series has ever encountered, Jones went airborne,
Going over.
rolling his number 33 at least 4 times before eventually coming to rest on his roof.
Broken wheel. That'll be a red flag. Yes, it is.
The race was immediately red flagged.
So that is Andy Jones. And that's not good. The 46 in the mix up there as well.
Marshals, medical staff and officials all raced to Jones, who thankfully eventually emerged from the car and, apart from general soreness, was able to walk away unscathed.
Yeah, you never like to see those cars flip up over the ripple strip on there. It's quite a high ripple strip actually into turn 1, and it can get flipped, but fingers crossed that all is okay, because that looked like a pretty nasty rollover, I've got to say.
The scary incident was caught by a number of drivers. The dramatic in-car footage shows just how strong the cars are built and what can happen. With later, still images also showing the extent of damage to the car. Whilst the number 33 was a write-off, the most important thing was that Jones was thankfully A-OK.
Return to the paddock, and it is Jamie Westaway that will lead them back. I'm not sure that that amount of racing laps will get us a result there, but we'll catch up with that news. Cambella.
With 4 laps recorded under the safety car, the race was officially sanctioned. Jamie Westaway taking the win, Cameron Bella home in second, and Adam Brewer rounding out the podium, Keith Mariner claiming the final top 10 spot, and despite the dramatic rollover, Andy Jones classified as 14th due to finishing in that position under red flag conditions. Still reeling from the dramatic events of yesterday, and with weather still on the cool and damp side, it was a more subdued field who took to the track for race 2 on Sunday morning.
Welcome back, trackside here for Sandown International Motor Raceway. Round 4 of the Victorian State Circuit Racing Championships in full flight. cars up on track will be the Porsche 944s, scheduled for 10 laps. And great to see a good field too, out over 20 cars here for One Make Racing. Here is our grid. It'll be Jamie Westaway out in front, Cameron Bella, so last year's championship winner, leading the previous champion of the category, Adam Brewer, who is coming on absolute gangbusters.
Bella and Westaway on the front row,
And away we go. A very, very clean start off the front.
with Westaway getting away best.
It's like the 35 there of Joey Callick driving down the outside. I'll get that. That's actually 64. It's Keith Mariner. He's made up a couple of spots right off the start there. But have a look at this run down to turn one from Jamie Westaway.
Although Brewer started well, sneaking past Bella for second. Mariner also getting a good one, moving up places.
It's a brilliant result from a very good driver, and unfortunately Manny didn't manage to get away from the grid.
Yeah, that's a real shame there. So
Only to be jumped on by Jackman into turn 4.
up the inside goes the Poolmaster entry. That's Andrew Jackman. Gets a job done very, very nicely there. And
With Meza Selma unfortunately having engine issues early, leaving him stranded right from the get-go.
Manny Metazalma has just pulled over to the left-hand side. Let's hope that race control can leave that there.
Fox took the onboard.
Here's Carter Fox on board, very busy at the wheel. You can actually see in the mirror someone just moving off to the side there, and he's checking the mirrors out as well, left and right.
As Torbets took on Mariner under brakes into Dandenong Road. But the veteran number 64 wasn't having it. Kennedy, Fox and Tudor went hard into battle, all moving up spots from yesterday.
The 23 going through there. That is Vlad Kennedy starting to push back up the field. In fact, play up into 15th. He was a big mover yesterday until got caught up in an incident. Here's Carter Fox. And he is down in 14th at the moment. Tim Wolf's gone up some spots, as has Carter.
Wolf eventually saw his chance and grabbed a spot under Mariner into turn 1.
Into a 944.
Tim Wolf going up the side of Keith Mariner. Mariner in the seat time. Number 64 64 had a ripping start to this race. Made up some spots, but he seems to be just relinquishing some now.
And then the debutante, Callan, also getting ahead of Mariner by lap 6.
So down the inside goes the 35, and that's Callick getting through. So the 64 of Mariner just relinquishing that one spot.
As Kennedy, Tudor and Fox all continued to chase hard,
Just held up just off the back of that, the yellow car. That's our onboard car with Carter Fox.
mid-pack, Howe clouded the infamous turn 4 wall.
This weekend, and I'm absolutely certain he's getting it too. Oh, Dickie Howe hits the fence.
Wow, that's
Just
a cloud
touches
there.
it.
We've seen a few get very close there, and let me tell you, Dickie Howe, you're in not on your own there. People.
Although continuing on undamaged, he had Tony Westaway and Verdino for company. Back up front, Westaway and Bella turned up the wick.
Where Cam Bella has started to turn up the pressure. He's got the incoming tyre set, and this is probably should have touched on this early on it as well. And we're just seeing those trees bluster around there, so that's going to bring the inclement weather in it. It's been pretty still up until the last 15 minutes, so we're having spotters around the track saying, yeah, the wind has absolutely accelerated.
And with 2 laps to go, decided the fight for the win was on, with both drivers throwing everything at it.
Barry Parker is one of the sales reps for Osfield, so he'll be leaning on the fence, cheering him along as well to get the result.
Either of these two boys would do well in any category, and in fact, both of them have raced in multiple categories and won.
Jackman flowed his Poolmaster entry into a top 10 spot, with Torbets having one last lunge.
Weight split, they respond to inputs, they also respond to adjustments as well. And there's not a huge amount of adjustments that you can do on these. There's certainly got things that you can play with, and one of the main ones, and that's what Jamie and Cameron do so well, is incoming tyre sets.
Yep.
They are so vigilant on tyre pressures.
Mark Torbert's looking very, very racy on Andrew Jackman here.
So he's made his way up to 10th. Mark, he had as we said, started off from down the field in 15th, so he's made up 5 spots in this journey. Looks to make up another one on the 20th. That's Jackman. want to look after your naming rights sponsor there, Mark. Just race with him. Poolmaster, of course, stumping up for this weekend. They're the round sponsor.
It actually looks like Torbert's has got a bit of speed on him, doesn't it?
Just looking to the inside.
You can see just how similar they are in horsepower, can't you? There's nothing in it.
His exit speed here, so he'll be looking to try and carry as much as he can out of 3 and 4, as this is our leaders coming on to the last set of S's to make their way up to the checkered flag.
In the end, despite a last-minute wobble, Westaway just managing to hang on from a fast-charging Bella.
And here it is. There's not going to be a lot in this to run to the checkered flag. It's 200 metres up to the flag. It's waving, and there it is. Jamie Westaway takes number 2 for this weekend, and he is doing brilliantly. Torbert's down the inside of there, number 20.
Torbert's did eventually grab 9th, leaving Jackman in the final top 10 spot.
Out our field. Good run there for the Poolmaster Bayside 944s. Jamie Westaway over Cambella and Chris Lewis-Williams. Welcome back in the Tyre Power Vanilla 944 number 37.
So a business-like performance from Jamie Westaway. Home ahead of Cameron Bella, Chris Lewis-Williams claiming 3rd spot. Adam Brewer and Richard Howe rounded out the top 5, with Andrew Jackman claiming 10th position. 4 of the cars not making it out onto the grid for race 2, leaving Pete Doherty to round out the field. Manny Mezzaselma, the only non-finisher. There's an old saying in motorsport: if you want some excitement, just add water. And there was plenty of it for the feature, race 3 on Sunday afternoon.
Jamie Westaway will start off pole position, and he really has taken the game up to Cambella. There's more pace in this race, or I guess a consolidation of pace in these sort of conditions. It's horrible, it's greasy, it's going to be the ultimate challenge actually.
The heavens opened, and in cold and very wet conditions, the field skated off the line.
Flashing on the back down there. We get underway.
Westaway, Bella and Lewis-Williams got away.
The 31 doesn't get away well there. Adam Brewer is absolutely gazumped by the next 3 rows, right back to Jackman.
But in conditions which would prove tough for all drivers. Brewer got swamped at the start. On the flip side, Lewis-Williams was revelling and jumped up to 2nd.
And got rolling there as well. So the field down through turn number 1. It's pretty wet down there. When the camera is all wet and foggy like that, you know that you're coming into some pretty tricky conditions. The Sidelink car in position 4 there. That is Westaway. There's the number 3 car of Tony Westaway.
Fox became the first wet weather victim, sliding around at turn 4.
Quite a smart looking livery on that car. Carter Fox goes round in the number 7.
And he certainly wouldn't be the last. Howe's experience saw him cutting through the field early.
Chris Lewis-Williams has got a very, very smart start. There's Richard Howe and Andreevski going side by side. Richard just giving a little bit of room there even, giving a little bit of a gap there. Andreevski pretty wise in not taking the gap because it would have had him up on the painted ripple strip, and that's the last place you want to be. They're horrible when they get wet, those ripple strips. They're like an ice skating rink.
Torbert's also losing grip at turn 11. Howe gained more spots, taking Tony Westaway.
This will be a good test for Chris with Cambella in his mirrors, Mark Bedino charging, Tony Westaway finding pace.
Kellick just managing to keep it together.
They're all starting to find pace. There's the number 35 going sideways, giving us a good look at a trail lasagna. The Joey Kellick car, 1-800 sideways lasagna.
Up front, Lewis-Williams attempted to take the lead over Jamie Westaway.
I'll envelop the whole field in that comment. Oh, look at this. Chris Lewis-Williams has iterations for leading this race.
How good is that after years off?
The Rocket Digital
Pure courage shown by all drivers, in conditions which were getting worse by the minute.
As iterations of leading Jamie Westaway and Cameron Bella in the final race of the day for the Porsche 944s. Not of the round, we've still got plenty of racing to go. And have a look at that, Lewis Williams, a handful. He gets off the track, gathers it all back up, slots in behind Cameron Bella.
But with even him losing grip, Bella allowed back into second.
There's Tony Westaway, he's gone round and he's clipped the front bumper off there as well.
Almost instantly, Tony Westaway became another casualty. On boards, showing just how tough conditions had become, with the number 3 losing grip heading into the hard-braking turn 1.
I wonder if that's been all on his own. Oh, that's more than a clip of the front bumper, isn't it?
It is.
He's given something or someone a decent old clout. Tim Wolfe. He seems to have all his panels on his race car still pointing in the right direction.
Still a risk, of course.
Have a look at this. We're going to go side by side. Richard Howe.
The legend, Howe, continuing to show why he is considered a rainmaster.
Side there. Really needs to
Passing Verdino on the long back straight.
come around the final corner and start the drag race.
And in a clear indication that just the slightest movement offline could prove disastrous, Jackman dropped a right rear onto the ice-like painted ripple strip, and he too found the barrier.
Talking about?
And a
crikey.
bit of biffo.
Yep.
Bounced off the fence there. Officials just wandering up. And gets pretty boggy behind there too, so probably why he's not running that flag. He gives a bit of a jog towards the end.
Even the leaders were struggling in the monsoon-like conditions.
No, I agree.
So he might just be sort of hanging in there that something might unfold in front of him that he can take advantage of. Westaway to Bella. Bella understeer mid-corner there. She rips the confidence out of you when you're halfway through the corner. You think you've got it, and all of a sudden the front tyres disappear out from underneath you.
I tell you what, they're just about to... he's going to fall over. I was going to say, he's just about to pass a lapped car here.
That's Carter Fox. I reckon Carter Fox needs to grab a cog and try and get on the back of this train.
Moments later, another scary moment, this time for Verdino, completely losing the rear under brakes and becoming a passenger.
Oops! Goes around. That's Verdino. Under brakes. I reckon that's what happened to the number 3 as well.
Sliding his number 44 into the turn 1 wall, but thankfully managing to get going again.
Gee, that's annoying. That is so frustrating. That turn 1 when the track is like this, you just want it to absolutely open up and pour or dry up. So greasy down there in that braking area for turn 1.
Brewer too was fighting hard, bouncing back in the tough conditions, up into 7th and then 6th.
Goes through on Tony Andrzejewski. I reckon we probably could have predicted that, because I think Tony Andrzejewski is giving it his absolute all. Adam Brewer is operating at the level of the guys at the front. He got a terrible start, so he's just trying to, I'm going to say, conservatively pick his way through the field in these conditions. There goes Chris Lewis-Williams on Cameron Bella.
And the fight for the lead was also happening. Lewis Williams showing true courage under brakes into turn 1, getting under Bella.
CLW goes through nicely in the Tyre Power Benalla outfit, and around Andrew Jackman they'll go in the Poolmaster Bayside entry. But have a look at that, Chris Lewis-Williams. Nice work indeed.
Brewer, Andrzejewski, Howe and Culloch all showing true grit in the seriously challenging conditions.
Well, he gets in
I think you're
behind
right.
Adam Brewer.
I think you're right.
It's all about gingerly getting into turn 1 though. Control it. Adam Brewer gets it done. Richard Howe gets hung out to dry, but he stays with it. He's got the inside running for turn 2. And Andrzejewski says, yeah, look, I want to bring this home in one piece. You can have it, Richard. I'll see you at the top of the hill.
Very wise.
With Brewer clearing out, Howe, Andrzejewski and Culloch were still fighting.
Oh, and the lasagna man into it as well. Oh, the 35. Joey Kellogg slides sideways, Andrzejewski sideways. Richard Howe has to get out of it and gets into it, and he gets the drive onto the straight. We're going to go into our last lap here.
You can't say this isn't good viewing, can you?
It's a good display, isn't it?
Oh, and look at this at the front.
And then the biggest fight of all, up front, with Lewis Williams having a final chance to grab a truly courageous victory.
Jamie Westaway is not going to back out of it. Lewis Williams drives the perfect line through there and gets the lead of the race with 3 corners to go. Car number 37 returning to the game. Comes up, steps up with 3 corners to go, grabs the race lead. And this is a charge to the line and a return to the game. An emphatic symbol to these 2 greats of the last couple of years of 944 competition. And there it is, the checkered flag is out for CLW from Tyre Power in Benalla. You want some winning tyres on your car, go see that bloke.
Well, you've got to say congratulations, haven't you?
Oh,
that's brilliant.
Massive there for Chris Lewis Williams.
Unfortunately for Andrzejewski, a late slide on the last lap saw him drop back to 8th. Wolf managing to get ahead.
And there was the sign sealed delivered. This is the next one, and all getting pretty foggy. Andrzejewski sideways grabs another cog and joins it back into things.
I can honestly say that was fun.
That was good fun.
Fun to watch.
That was
good on you. Thank you.
Good fun.
Chris Lewis Williams taking an emphatic win over Jamie Westaway. Cameron Bella back in 3rd. Brewer up to an amazing 4th spot after dropping to 10th on lap 1. And Richard Howe showing great courage, home in 5th. Andy Tudor slid his number 15 into the final top 10 spot. Vlad Kennedy just outside in 11th. With remarkably, Tony Westaway being the only non-finisher. Looking at the 944 championship points after round 4, it's Jamie Westaway who leads from Adam Brewer. Cam Bella only 2 points behind in 3rd. Keith Mariner rounding out the top 10. Jack Atley slips back to 11th. Chris Lewis Williams moving up into 17th. Over Lyndon Watson, Michael Westaway, Andy Jones, Joey Kellick on the board, with Pete Doherty rounding out the tally. Whilst in the Victorian State Championship, where this race was held, it's again Westaway, but Bella moves up into 2nd, nudging Brewer back to 3rd, with Tony Andrzejewski creeping into the top 10. Lewis Williams up into 11th. No change to the rear of the table. So as we head away from the dark, stormy and dramatic Sandown, the category now returns to the fast and furious Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit for round 5. We look forward to seeing you there. In conjunction with Blendline TV, this has been a production by Pit Lane Media.